I knew I would love this gun from the time I saw it in the beta. It was locked. I was not able to use it in the beta apart from a couple times when it rotated around in gun game, and even then I only got to get 1 or 2 kills with it before I moved on to the next weapon. Now I've finally ranked up. I've grinded out enough to get to the level between 30 and 40. I can't remember exactly when you unlock it, and it is godly. The HVR SMG, everybody. Definitely try this weapon out if you haven't already. Welcome back to BlackTideTV. Today we're talking about the HVR SMG. This is the final SMG that you unlock. Again, I don't know when you unlock it. It's somewhere between level 30 and 40, and this thing is just god tier. A lot of people really like the ERAD. A lot of people like the FHR 90 or 40, whatever the hell it's called, and a lot of people like, what's that other one? A lot of people like the Karma 45, but this is by far my favorite SMG in the game. Possibly my favorite gun in the entire game. Ever since I've got it, I've just been going off. The biggest problem that I've had, apart from the imbalance in this game with a lot of things like payloads and perks, which we're going to talk about in a future video, the biggest problem that I've had with this game so far is inconsistency, I guess you could call it. I didn't know which weapon I needed to be using. I found that a lot of people would use all these weird weapons. Obviously, people are testing out the weapons and stuff right now, and people are trying out the weird things, and you're probably not going to see the same weapons being used today being used in a week or 2 weeks when people finally figured it all out. But people are using all the strange weapons right now, and I would just find that I get melted by weapons. I just get completely obliterated, like 3 or 4 shot kills by the most random weapons, and I'd be like, okay, well, that must be the best gun in the game. Let me use that. And then I use it, and it takes me like 7 shots, and I still don't get the kill. And I'm like, well, what the hell? That guy was using it, and it was doing fine. Mine isn't working so well. I don't understand. So my biggest problem with the game so far is I'm not sure which weapons I'm supposed to be using. Every single Call of Duty game, whether it's balanced or not balanced or whatever, or when the game first comes out or when the game's been out for 3 years, every single Call of Duty game has its go-to weapons. I believe in Black Ops 3, those weapons would have been the VMP, the Man of War, and the M8A7. These are the weapons that were 100% the best. The pro players are using them because they know that they're the best. They're the easiest to use. They're the most rewarding. They just fit easily in your hands, and they do a lot of damage, and they're the best across the board, okay? These are the weapons that you generally gravitate towards. You find these weapons very early on in the game, and you go, okay, so that's my OP weapon. I'm going to keep that in a class for then when I'm getting destroyed, when I'm using all these other wacky weapons trying to get challenges done and stuff. If I run into some tryhards, I can put on my tryhard class and go at them with this very special weapon. And my biggest problem with this game so far was I didn't know what that weapon was. I've been going through this game, and I've been getting melted by all these other random weapons, and I'm like, oh, that's got to be the weapon, and then I put it on and it's no good, and then I try something else and that's no good either. The weapons in this game, I feel like a lot of them are really underpowered. Even though the time to kill is quite high, there are certain weapons in this game that just suffer from inconsistency, and this weapon is not one of them. The HVR SMG is the final SMG that you unlock in the game. It is extremely powerful, dropping people in 3 shots up close as far as I can tell. I haven't done extensive testing on it, but 3 shots to 5 shots to kill. The most hit markers I think I've ever gotten with it was 5 hit markers, and that resulted in a kill. I'm just completely crushing people with this gun right now. There's basically no downside. The only downside that I found with this weapon, with the HVR, is that it doesn't have a lot of ammunition. It comes with a magazine that has 26 bullets in it, and then it has 2 reserve magazines. 26 bullets is not a lot of bullets in a magazine, but it is a balancing factor as everything else is really great on the weapon. And of course you can put extended mags on there, and that just makes it just beautiful. Extended mags brings it up to 39 shots in the magazine, and that's more than enough for you to get at least 2 or 3 kills with the thing before having to reload. It reloads incredibly quickly, stacks nicely with dexterity. It's just a beautiful weapon. It's my favorite SMG, probably my favorite weapon in the entire game so far. I think that the UMP 45 or the MacTav 45 classic weapon, I guess it's called now, is a little bit better. I have been melted by a couple people that were prestiged and they had that MacTav 45. It seems like the big brother of the HVR. The HVR actually looks a lot like an UMP 45, to be honest, or like a MacTav 45. I've got to get into the habit of calling it that, but it kind of seems like a MacTav 45 or like a little MacTav 45, and it does kind of have the same statistics, the same damage output, the same kind of small magazine, the same reload animation. Really, it's very much like the MacTav 45. It's kind of like the MacTav 45 25 for beginners. So it's like the SMG that you're going to want to use when you aren't prestiged yet, or when you are working on or when you're trying to work through the other SMGs in this game. It's an incredible weapon. I highly recommend that you use it. I just wanted to make this video today just to reinforce that, yes, I am still playing Infinite Warfare. I'm trying to work on getting to prestige. I'm still not prestige yet, so I'm still working on that. I will have my actual first impressions video coming up very soon, but I just got to say that the HVR is definitely swaying my opinion on this game. It's making me actually like this game a little bit more. So that is it for today's video, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.